Well, that presentation sure popped out of nowhere. So, hello, my name is Jimmy Garcia, and I'm a political science major.
I'm Marina Yamura, and I'm a global liberal studies major.
I'm Takashi Yamaguchi. I'm policy study major.
Hi, my name is Shayla Somnaran, and I am an undeclared freshman.
So, I am sorry to burst your bubble, guys, but because of popular demand, let's move on for our presentation.
I explain about Tokyo. Tokyo metropolis is the capital of Japan. Tokyo City consists of 23 wards. There are 9,600,000 people in Tokyo's 23 wards. Its average land price was $4,200, 550,000 yen in 1983. It has risen to $350,000, 56 billion yen. It rose about 8 times for 8 years. It plunged to $7,100, 920,000 yen in 2001. It was affected by Lehman Brothers collapse in 2008, but continued to level off through now. It is $13,000, 1,700,000 yen now. So why did it rise suddenly and didn't it change for 20 years after Great Rising?
So, after the heyday of Japan's economy, land and urban property values dropped by 15%, and now Japan is worth less than half its 1991 peak. Furthermore, 64% drop in residential prices in Tokyo and the 5 largest cities in Japan occurred. And in the present, Japan is in a long economic depression. However, since 2013, the price of land in Japan started to rise because of 3 reasons. First, Abenomics. Under ex-Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's administration, this special economic policy worked and promoted monetary easing. Second, the recovery from the Great East Japan earthquake in 2011 became another factor to start to push the prices. Lastly, the decision to host the Tokyo Olympics made Tokyo area's prices rise. So the question now is Japanese bubble parallel to American bubble? To talk more about this issue, we're going to pass this on to Jimmy.
Thank you, Marina. So to continue with Marina's general overview of the Japanese economy, the US economy hasn't exactly been that stable. It has experienced around 12 economic slumps. To basically summarize it, there was a major recession after World War II due to less government spending on the war effort. And then due to factors ranging from oil prices to the dot-com crash, we saw a dramatic performance. And the Great Recession, which resulted from banks giving out high subprime mortgages to millions of Americans that weren't able to pay them off. We saw the housing bubble. And due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we sort of changed course after 128 months of consecutive economic growth. We saw real GDP drop by as much as 31.2%. We lost 20.7 million jobs. And fast forward to today, even though the economy has recovered in a way, it hasn't returned to pre-pandemic levels with even though GDP has risen by as much as 6.9%, and we've seen hundreds of thousands of jobs being restored. And to make matters worse, home prices, they've increased in recent years due to a supply and demand problem. Basically, supply hasn't been able to actually catch up to the demand. Speaking of housing, let's move on to Shayla.
As Jimmy mentioned, the United States has experienced bubbles just like Japan. However, instead of land prices, looking at New York City to get a closer look, has experienced a housing bubble in the mid-2000s. This resulted from previous economic downfalls such as the dot-com bubble and the Great Recession. Large biddings in tech stocks, large amounts of mortgage distress, loose lending conditions, excess liquidity, etc. are all contributing factors to the inflation of this bubble. After the median home prices started to drop in 2010, the median home price dropped to about $218,200. It wasn't until 2012 did the value of properties go up to grow exponentially to what they are today. Now, having gone through the COVID-19 pandemic, the housing market has tightened due to an increased demand for housing services and low interest rates. Although lending standards were an issue in the previous bubbles, it wasn't a factor in the price raids because of COVID-19. The demand for housing also increased with the need for, now some people also want to do this, is working at home and the support for household incomes, mortgage forbearances, and the delay with evictions.